So we just got back from my walk and the brooch I was telling you guys came in. So I thought we would do a first impressions and kind of check it out together. And also I have some sad news that probably doesn't look as sad right now, but we'll talk about it in a second. It's definitely not my favorite thing that happened this week. Okay. TBD on how I feel about this. I don't know how you... Oh. Okay, so I guess it has to go around a button. So it's got this little clasp at the back to kind of tether it. So it essentially has to be worn. It looks really pretty on camera. It has to be worn kind of as the button at the top, unless I feel like maybe you could finagle it to do like a bobby pin or something, or sorry, a safety pin, but like she looks really pretty and shiny on camera. I think she'll be really nice as like the center point on a few different pieces, especially for stuff where I feel like I don't have a lot of neck space, so I feel like sometimes wearing earrings and a necklace at the same time is really challenging for me. But something like this gives me the ability to keep it really simple, like pull my hair back and do something small here, and then really have that like focal point in the center. And I was thinking about wearing it with the white button up I showed you guys in last week's vlog, but I am a little bit sweaty right now, so we're not going to pull that down and touch it. But let's talk about this because I can't start the vlog this week and not talk about this. I hit my finger in a very specific angle last night and I saw my nail kind of lift, and that is, sorry, I'm warning you now, like we're not going to go into any more detail than that, but I didn't realize that that was one of my biggest fears. And now that I'm gonna have to, because I have my nail appointment like next week, I'm just gonna have to be like, we're not touching this finger for the next however long is required. Like we're just gonna leave band-aids on it. I bought the little like finger thing that you can get whenever you break your nail or break your finger, as a way to potentially give myself that extra protection. But I found that honestly, just having that on there creates more friction on top of anything. So like a double band-aid situation is great. But so good morning on Friday. We have a couple of tasks. To do together today. Number one, I'm listing stuff on Poshmark. I've talked about it before, but mom jeans, straight leg jeans, and skinny jeans are the jeans that I feel like work the best for pear-shaped girlies. But I do have some stuff that's actually in a bigger size that we're gonna go ahead and list if you guys want to go shopping. I will link that down below, as well as the dad shorts that didn't really work out for me. Essentially the stuff that you guys saw me clearing out during the fall closet clear out, fall reset. And the other thing that I've been doing, that I've been tackling one little bit at a time, is we're going through the sock drawer today. And I know if everybody's like me, you have some kind of crazy looking sock drawer where you're either missing socks, or Ashton went through a phase where he would steal socks. That was like his thing. He wanted to take them and bury them in the yard. And I feel like I buy socks to replace things, especially because I will buy specific socks for running because I need that extra padding. But I haven't actually taken the time to kind of clean them out, or to do the same thing I do in my actual wardrobe, which is anything that I feel like I'm not wearing, putting it to the side, or making it a point to trial it and see if it's actually still working for me in the way that I want it to. So a whole lot of stock sorting today, which is a very niche thing to do on a Friday, but I feel like right now my goal is to eliminate any of those little areas where you just feel like you get a bit more annoyed in your routine. Like the stuff where it would take me 2 seconds to find it if it was actually really organized and I could get what I wanted and go, especially because of my finger right now. I feel like I'm having to be a little bit slower and I can't just like dig through whatever and kind of toss it to the side. So my goal is to figure out whatever easy version of organization looks like right now within a couple of different categories, even if that's just like bags in certain drawers. It's not perfect. Maybe the whole system needs an overhaul, but like it will make my everyday life so much easier and I will feel less frustrated and I feel like I have less of those little frustrating moments throughout the day, because those add up and we're trying to eliminate those. So sock territory, and then listing things on Poshmark. I've already listed a few bras that are new with tags that I bought when I was navigating that. I think we've chatted a bit about bra stuff. We'll keep chatting a bit about it more because sizing is a whole thing. Actually, it reminds me, I put a portion of the vlog last week that I think I actually cut out, and I will talk about it again, is the whole pear-shaped bra sizing situation and like finding the right size bra and the right style bra as a pear-shaped girly, especially because we tend to be more narrow in the shoulders. So what happens is a lot of the times that we need to accommodate, we end up in this like really in-between sizing situation where maybe we're smaller here, but we're starting to get kind of wider there, and we still want support without having to have strapless bras galore and like feeling like the straps are constantly falling off of our shoulders. And that's a very niche debacle to deal with, but it's something that I dealt with kind of over the last few years, being in between sizes or being where I am right now. So I have some that I want to try, some that I've gotten rid of, and then of course I use a lot of sticky boobs. I have a few strapless bras that I love, but I'm definitely on the hunt for some other options for like a solid bra that works for me. Speaking of which, I guess we manifested it, because Honeylove has dropped the bra that we were talking about in the last vlog in a lower dip version. So perfect if you want more of a comfortable everyday wear option, like you don't mind having that bit of coverage. I tend to be a bit more needing flexibility with my bras because I wear such a different style of tops. I wear a lot of strapless, a lot of like stuff like this that kind of cuts at the neck, but it really is always good to have that like tried and true classic bra that just works under a lot of sweaters and things like that. And I feel like the Honeylove ones really nail that. So I'm excited that they've done like a lower cut. So if you're like working 9 to 5 and you tend to need more of just like a good bra for maybe blouses that have a little bit more of a V, but they're not like that low, because of course it's like 9 to 5 and we want to be demure. I think that's a good option. But yeah, we have a whole lot of socks to sort through, a whole lot of things. And then I think, because I'm really not trying to not give you any lay here, hold please. I think we're gonna start fashion book club this week. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I really feel like I always enjoy reading. I have a degree in English. I took a lot of novels courses in college. And when it comes to fashion, and maybe this is just, it's how I felt in a lot of areas of life, where doing this job, being on the internet, talking about the things that I'm talking about, kind of giving myself permission to really love something that I always wanted to love, but it just felt like as a kid when you would go to shop for things and like deal with fashiony stuff and like want to have that experience, you weren't welcome. Like nothing about that space made it feel like you had a invitation into the room. It was just a whole lot of like, you're not small enough, you're not good enough, you need to change your body, like this, you can't be here, this is not your space, like you aren't allowed to like this because you don't look like X. And so as I've cultivated the space for myself, and as I've really just given myself that permission and continued to heal and love and continue to give myself that permission, because I can tell you right now, there's not a single person that's ever come up to me that's been like, you should be a fashion blogger, your outfits are always so cute. It's taken me a while to get to a place where I'm really owning that authentically and like creating that for myself. And the more that I gave that to myself and allowed myself to do that, the more other people saw that in me. But none of that was just handed to me. It was all a choice. It was all me deciding that I got to have the thing and that I got to have a different experience with it. So bringing myself back to fashion book club, I feel like there's quite a few books on the market, and I don't necessarily know that I want to read all of them. I don't know that it necessarily helps any of us to read all of them, because we know that it's a place that needs to change. It's not like I want to learn all of the things to repeat all of the things, because for so many of us, and even still, there's a lot of just issues in that area. But I think that you can't make changes, or you can't fully have the right conversation or like help people see a different way if you don't know what they're coming from and what they're already seeing. And so I just find it really fascinating. Not necessarily that you want to support all of these businesses that feel like they just don't about some people who are curvier or look different or taller or have different skin colors, but I want to understand where those roots are so that we can like attack them and kind of change them. So that being said, fashion book club, we might be starting her. Anna Wintour's book is on my list, and I told myself that I wanted to check it out, but like at the same time, I'm really great about like being like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and then I'll like order something, and I'm just trying to prevent myself from having the dopamine hit of ordering the thing, because I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it, and then it's just another thing that I have to move. So I told myself, especially with books, because we have enough local bookstores that I like. We have a Barnes & Noble now that I would go in, if they had the book in store and I could go get my hands on it, then when it was time for me to actually start doing it, I would do that versus just ordering it and being another thing that like I circulated money towards, or that I just like put on my Kindle, or that like it didn't actually do the thing that I wanted it to do. It was just like a quick dopamine hit. So that is my note of the day. Also, we're gonna put makeup on at some point. I realized this morning that the way my routine is right now, I need to change where I put makeup on in the day, because otherwise I do like I'm doing today, where I get so in the flow of just doing stuff that I'm not going to stop and go back for makeup because I'm already in the energy of like doing things. I'm already in the energy of moving and being and just kind of sussing out whatever. So going back and like washing my face and doing all of the makeup right now, I'm just, that feels like a, it feels like a slowdown, and that needs to be a different part of my morning routine. I am babbling. What else is new? But yeah. So I was feeling nervous about washing my hair because I just didn't quite know what was going to happen with my finger. It seems going to still leave it at this point. We're just kind of playing it day by day and being very gentle and nice with myself. I got a look at it last night and it wasn't what I was thinking, but I'm still not 100% sure what's going on. So maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was, and it's just kind of bruised underneath, which is something that tends to happen every now and again with like my thumb, because the structured gel is so strong that sometimes you just hit it the wrong way and it becomes a little bit tender just kind of underneath the nail. There's nothing actually wrong other than maybe it's like kind of subtly bruised, but like what you see doesn't look like there's anything actually wrong. So I got a look at it last night and I felt like it wasn't visibly showing the same signs, but it was bleeding the other night, so I really don't know what's happening, and I have a few more days for my nail appointment and I need to figure that out. But I wanted to just give my finger a little extra time to kind of heal. I was originally concerned that it was going to be a bit more fragile and a bit more exposed, and that if I like washed my hair and needed to do all of those things, then you're dealing with all of the shampoo kind of getting in your finger. I had originally planned to just wear medical grade gloves because we have tons of them in the house, the perk of being in a medical family. But I booked in for a blowout at Ulta this morning, which I have never done, and I feel like I've always wanted to find somewhere locally to get a blowout, just because there are days where you have really busy weeks and the thing that you need to do that would make you feel human is to do your hair, but at the same time you also just need like time to breathe within that pocket. So this is that for me. I'm going to use it as some time to catch up on some emails, to do some work that I've been trying to get done this week, while also trying to not send my stress levels skyrocketing. And like, we're in a phase of learning to manage and create and do all of what I want to do, while also just not having to do it in the most stressful way possible, like not needing to hold all of that stress in my body. So I promised you guys 30 days of outfits, but I think we're gonna have to do a little bit of prep together this evening. But before then, I'm getting ready to go out to see a movie, and it's actually one that 2 of my friends produced. So excited for them. I honestly never thought, like, if you would have told 19-year-old me, who was pre-med and completely confused about her life's purpose and thought that like what she was doing wasn't big enough, in my bed during Christmas break, feeling so just confused about my life plan, that she would see a movie in her same hometown that is small that her friends made in a theater, would blow her mind. Like, she would never be able to grasp that. Of course, at the same time, TV and streaming was a whole different thing, but even then I didn't understand it. So it wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have known that I should be as impressed as I was, or that the world could be the way that it was. Like, it just was, it still blows my mind. It's crazy to me. But in saying that, I want to get a nice little Instagram photo while we're in the theater so I can talk about it on other social platforms and tell everybody about this movie. And I was thinking about where I wanted to shoot, because whenever I'm asking somebody to help me shoot any kind of content, I normally try to have a really specific vision in mind. Unless we have time to play with it, or unless there's a little bit more flexibility in what we're doing, or I'm playing, or I'm like working with somebody who is also kind of creative and has that eye. A lot of the time, if it's a time crunch and I only have a certain window, I really try to go in mind with like the most successful way that I can shoot this. And I feel like today, the best way to do that is to actually plan to shoot in the theater with flash. So those two things automatically kind of gear me in a different direction as to how I'm going to shoot content. And it just gives me little things that are a lot more fun to do that don't necessarily mean as much when I'm outside. Like when I'm outside, I'm playing a little bit more with my body shape. I'm really just mindful about the silhouette and the angles. When I'm inside, I'm looking at more reflective things, ways that we can really make the flash work, ways that we can kind of play with the different levels of lighting, versus outside, I'm really playing with the shadows a little bit more. So we're going to pick an outfit, and while I was getting ready, I saw my silver boots in the background. So I think I want to style my look based on this. Now, I posted a photo like 2 days ago that's actually from a couple of years ago before we repaired anything post-hurricane. I think it's like 5 years ago. So a year after Hurricane Michael. And I love that photo. But it was making me think, do I want to wear leggings with this? And honestly, I just don't think I'm in a leggings with boots phase right now. Maybe if it was my corduroy ones, but the black Spanx leggings, I think I burnt myself out on them, that they're not necessarily my go-to for things. I just feel like a little bit funny wearing them as pants all the time. I don't know. So I think we're going to do some kind of skinny jean, especially for these, because I really want the color to pop. And I think, I can't remember if the seats are black or red in the theater, but I want that like reflection off the side, and to really get as much as I can with the lighting without like having to stand up or be really obnoxious and weird angles in the theater. Okay, so paired with the white chart, I went ahead and seamed it. It's the cropped one that I just went ahead and tied up a little bit. We have the black jeans on. I do think I'm going to do my little fake baguette necklace here, and then we will throw on the boots and a fun little lip to complete the look. So this lip combo I started to show you guys the other day, and it's one of my favorites, and it is definitely a bit extra, but bear with me on this. So I always line with something that's quite similar to my lipstick, just because I feel like it helps with the precision. This is an old KKW Beauty one, but I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk would work really well, because we're going to use a Pillow Talk lipstick. Alright, Pillow Talk in its original shade is going to be our base color. And then to keep it from looking a little bit too dark and too flat for my skin, I'm going to top it with a bit of the Hourglass Crave. I feel like the best way to build the pigment up with this is to dab them. So we're adding a bit of that light pinkiness in. And then the final step, which I feel like really completes this look, and honestly, I really struggled to wear this lip liner before this, but now it's such a game changer for me. And it's the Kylie Jenner 808 Kylie, and it's almost like double contouring your lips. So it really, you can see it there, it gives the definition. So you want to go over top, and just slightly overline with it. And I do mean slightly, but it just makes your lips look bigger. And I've had lip filler and a little bit in my top and in my top and a little bit in my bottom. And I might get it again. I feel like I would want somebody who is really precise and like specialized in lip filler, because my first experience was a trial. But I feel like I still get a nice full looking lip with this, and it's just really more in the technique and like the little things that you use in preparation, but also kind of afterwards. So adding that slight bit of contoured liner on top really just makes everything look a little bit juicier, a little bit bigger, and it's so good. So I'm getting ready to go get my nails done this morning, and we know I'm a little nervous. I wanted to touch base about a few things with you guys, but I have to say, this is the state of my finger right now, and I don't know whether or not it was that like it was one of my biggest fears, or if the healing visualizations that I did worked, or if it was prayer, or if it's just like a repeated combination of all of that, because I have been doing it for the last week and a half. My finger still feels a little sensitive, but I guess we'll see what it looks like once we get there. And I think normally I'd be like, okay, well maybe you're just overthinking it. My finger was actually bleeding at one point, so it wasn't like I was just, kind of making it up, like that it was all in my head and it just hurt so much at the moment, because sometimes, especially with a more structured gel manicure, I notice that my nails are so strong, and I'm so thankful for that, honestly. P.S. This is still the most incredible primer ever. But my nails are so strong that they really do hold really well. Like, if anything is gonna break, typically what would break for me is like a little piece of the nail underneath. And I've had these for what, 4.5-ish years? Like, always having something on my nails, and my nails have stayed really healthy. They've stayed really strong. I've never had the ability to kind of keep a good length of nail without just having to add tons and tons and tons of other stuff that absolutely destroys my nails. It's like I did dip for years, and I really wanted that like nice length, but I like having, I feel like the structure gel is exactly what I wanted, as far as being like, it's softer and it's a little bit more malleable in whatever way, like it doesn't flake off like dip. But gel was always too thin for me, because I just felt like with a basic gel, my nails are too flexible. And I'm somebody who tends to chip their nails really easily, which is not ideal when you're shooting things all the time and you're like, the last thing I want to have to do is spend another however many hours tonight painting my nails. Like, that just can't be done. So I am excited. I've picked out a Halloween style nail, which is not something I normally do, because I feel like a lot of times Halloween nails are a bit too strong for me. They're a bit just too seasonal and holiday, and I really am mindful about the fact that, like, and it's not a big deal necessarily right now, but that I want to keep nails that are easy to use for like any content that I might be creating, especially at this time of the year. I try to go for subtle, and I feel like I could overthink this. This is the conversation I had in my head the other day. It was like, you could absolutely deprive yourself of the joy of doing the thing that you want to be doing in case something happens, or you can just trust that, like, if you need to make a change, so say maybe I get like a brand deal or something and I need to have different nails, like I'll have all the time I need to fix them and adjust them so that they fit whatever I need. And like, I'm not gonna put my life on pause for everybody else and give everybody else my joy just because I'm worried about something that could happen that might not happen, or that like isn't just an absolute easy fix, if you know what I mean. But I do want to do some outfit planning with you guys today. I've been thinking about this for the last few days, and it's something that I wanted to do in preparation for doing 30 days of looks. I think I talked about this earlier in the vlog, but I'm just at the point right now where I feel like if we're gonna do it, I need to kind of batch it. But batching for me can feel a little bit funny. Like, I obviously don't want you to get the same hair look every single time. I want there to be some kind of variety in the dream world where you're like getting these outfits as though it comes from a stylist. You have matching hair and makeup and all of those things that work for each outfit. But the reality is I don't have the time to do all of that as a one-woman show at the moment. So we're going to do some prepping. I sat down and made a list of 10 different bottoms that I wanted to use, because my other thing is I feel like it helps me to batch these, or at least like have a moment where I'm doing all of the planning to where it's less of like, oh, did I already style that look? Like, did I already give you that in the 10 days? Am I actually giving you good kind of options? And it allows me to have some time to play with things, to think about things, to really make sure that I'm getting the best version of the best version, that like I get the most inspired looks, because sometimes I do find myself being like, oh, I really wish I had XYZ thing, or if I don't have enough time to actually think about it, I don't get the time to like get the thing that I want to get to make it look really nice. I feel like I just always want to give you guys the best looks and the best content, and there's such a balance for how you do that with it being sustainable and it not being one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I am a fashion creator, so therefore I do tend to have more stuff. Like, I do tend to need more stuff because I have to have my own kind of like arsenal for things. So the comparison there isn't really the same, because if you're taking inspiration from me, you might not need all the things or want all the things that like I have, and it wouldn't serve you to have all the things that I have. And I'm not telling you that you should have all the things that I have. It's more to give you, you know, inspiration if you're like thrifting and you find a thing and you're like, oh, you know what? She had that really similar vibe. Like, I can take that into my looks this week and make it my own. But in saying that, I'm trying to not just do like all of the skirts or all of the pants or all of the whatever, and it helps me to kind of write it down and see it. So I did that yesterday. I sat down and just took a minute to say, okay, what do I actually like, what are 10 bottoms that I want to style, because that's the big difference for me. I still need more tops. I feel like there's more shoes that I want. That's a section in my wardrobe that always seems to feel a little less fluid, and I have done a great job in the last few years of tending to rent stuff, which is nice because I get to play with things, but then when it comes to times where I need to have things to style, I don't have them. So it's given me an opportunity to kind of play, especially in times where my finances haven't been as strong and I still wanted to have fun with fashion, but I didn't want to buy new stuff, or I just felt like sometimes you get years in Florida where I wear like sweaters 5 times, like, and most of the time it's warm. In half those days are in February and the 1 week where it gets cold, especially after the last few years when everybody was at home, and it's kind of like changed the global energy and how like the planet has rebounded since COVID. I feel like there's moments where like the weather is just so insanely unpredictable in a way that I'm always having to navigate each year with what I need to have and how much I need to buy and so on. Okay, hold on, I can't see. So we are going to do some outfit planning, kind of give you guys some variations for things, hopefully, especially those of you who are in the category of maybe not wanting as fitted stuff, or you kind of fall in the middle ground. I tend to be somebody who just naturally fits things to my body, because with the way my curves are, if I don't fit them, it'll look like I'm being swallowed, and I don't really want to do that to myself. I spent way too much time as a kid hating my body, and so I do everything now I can to just enjoy it while I have it, because I know that when I'm like 90, I'm gonna be looking at photos like, you know what, I was hot, and I'm so glad that I wore all of those things. And now things aren't in the same place, but like, I am glad that I took the time to love my body. So we're gonna do that. I sat down and did a little bit of online shopping yesterday, or a little bit of prep to see just like what shoes I might want to put on my wish list for all things fall, because that's again like the one category. I found some boots. I feel like fall shoes for me, especially where I live, shoes are one of the biggest things that I kind of utilize as a way to control my temperature as a Floridian. So a lot of times you see me in sandals in the summer because it's just easier to be less hot if you don't have your shoe, like your feet encased in whatever the case may be. So that's a big reason that I kind of choose to dress and utilize sandals year round. But in saying that, there's so many different shoe options I feel like available for fall. So I'm trying to find the balance between having the cute sandal bits that like are heeled sandals, so they're a little bit, you know, more of a high vibe, as well as finding more boots, because thank God this year I feel like it's the first year ever since the girlies started their little series on TikTok about not being able to find wide calf boots. I feel like this is the first year we're really getting options for things, and that is incredible. And I've seen so many pairs of boots that I want. There's a couple of pairs of shoes that I have my eye on. There's these mules from, is it Vince Camuto, that I feel like are just a really good kind of casual throw on shoe, but I'm hoping they come out with a version that has a gold buckle, because I just don't want the silver buckle. I feel like I already have enough silver. I feel like I do silver when I really want to do silver, but gold tends to be more of a year-round go-to for me, so hopefully we will get that. But I'm gonna take you with me to my nail appointment. I am so excited to get some new nails, and then we will come back and do all of this sorting together. I am so glad that even though I went out Saturday and like immediately came back home because there were so many people, I also woke up really tired. Like my body was just demolished from all of the things last week. But it is fall break, and everybody decided to come to 30A for fall break, which is lovely, but it meant that everywhere I went, the parking was an absolute struggle, or the line was really long, and I was just at that point where I was like, I'll go home. But I wore the outfit I planned it, I picked it because I thought I was going to shoot it. I got it like exactly how I wanted it. I wore it for, you know, an hour of riding around the car, but now it means I have an easy go-to outfit for this morning to go get my nails done, which is always exciting. I think I like the pinkiness of it.
More pink?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and there are some in there that are pink, but I do like that pinkish undertone more. Also, I love this movie, so thank you for putting it on today. It's like my favorite movie as a kid.
God, what is it?
The Wedding Planner? Have you never seen it?
No.
Oh my gosh, I loved this movie. This is classic rom-com. So I'm home and my nails are all sorted. I posted a short so you guys could see a little bit more in depth. We definitely had to be extra careful with this guy because it's bruised underneath, but I told you we would do a little bit of wardrobe planning together. And honestly, I can think of at least 1 or 2 things that I know that I bought that like, I don't know where it is. So let's just see how this works out. I styled these a bunch last year and they are from Spanx. I feel like I styled them later in the year because when I originally got them, my body was different and they didn't quite fit, but they are these gorgeous kind of corduroy-ish. They're really, really comfortable, and I feel like if you're a little bit over the traditional Spanx leggings or like the faux leather leggings, these are a nice, good option. I am not sure what I want to wear with these though, because they're one of those that it's really fun to do it with a pop of color. I did it with my really colorful sweater last year and just let that be the vibe. I actually think that this might be fun to do with the blue and do the crop here because this is always a good moment. I also feel like the one thing I like to do with this is to have a big jacket kind of sitting over the shoulders so you really get the silhouette of the waist underneath. And then shoe wise, we can always go with my beloved blue shoes. Like, this is just such a fun way to style. I have the blue bag we know and love, and like this is a very simple ish for some of the things that I already just adore, but I haven't done this combo together and I don't know why because I feel like it's such a winning one. Also, this crop sweater is one of those like you aren't raising your arms in it. I love this one. It really pulls together outfits that just need the extra level of sass, but she is not subtle and she is definitely, if you wave your hands up, she is gonna go up. So you definitely are not gonna be, I would not recommend being a braless gal in that one. So if you've seen my black mini skirt from Abercrombie last year, they actually came out with the white satin version, and I have this in a blue version. And I've been thinking about a few ways. Obviously, sometimes you just dismiss white for fall, but this feels like such a fun little Christmas combo to have these two together. I love this shirt from Equipment. I got it on Outnet. That would be really fun, but at the same time, I didn't give this guy enough love last year, and I feel like I need to have a night out just specifically to wear her. It's from Victoria's Secret. On the front page of the website, and it had Mariah Carey in it, and of course Mariah Carey in it. She looked fantastic. If you're somebody who carries your boobs a little bit lower, it's one that you might want to tape or kind of manipulate, because otherwise you really aren't getting that like funness up here. But honestly, like that right there, good and golden. Put in some of the really cute like Sabrina Carpenter inspired tights underneath that, and you could pair it with whatever boot, because then it would just really bring it all together. And a nice like jacket over top, you would look so hot. Just saying. I do have the other skirts that I showed in last week's fall haul, but I have this lovely little pink midi skirt. It's from Target, and I do need to get this altered, but it's one that we might be able to kind of tinker and tailor ourselves. And I just could totally see a nice little other corset top moment, kind of keeping with the knit vibes and still giving a bit of vibrancy. If I really wanted to just play this up, we could go this way and have such a fun little moment. If I'm going out with it, I could also throw my pink overcoat over the top. I adore these Badly Mishka shoes, but something like this with just a bit of a full pink vibe really gives a bit of fun, but it's also like, I feel like fall with a corset dress is always such a vibe, and I really do like putting corsets and things on top of this. So this might be a good excuse to put my red one that we just talked about over top, and then throwing on Louboutins once I get them repaired, because you just get the white and then the red underneath and that full set there. This is something that requires a slip as well, but I might need to get a new slip because the one thing about it is it kind of rides up as we go. But I love this one. It's from Shein, and I feel like they still make it, but it's worn so beautifully and it just always gets the job done. It's one of those pieces that, like, if you are a pear-shaped girly or anybody who wants to make their curves work for them, a corset dress that's already just kind of cinching you in is going to kill it every time. Now, I'm saving this as the potential option for a fall wedding that I have next month, because I feel like it's just an easy option and it's long for the evening. I don't really have to think about it too much. I don't need to buy anything new. I was hoping to get something new and doing like a video on it, but if we don't have time, I feel like this fits perfectly, and it's from Petal and Pup. We would be or miss if I didn't throw at least one long black dress in there. And this is just such a good way to have fun with like a good lip and to like have that easy power without a lot of effort. Like having one kind of fitted dress like this in your collection is so essential. And then pairing the right boots with it. I would probably do my Xoxos because I just love these guys and they're so easy. And it's also really long, so it doesn't have to, you don't have to worry about the ankle kind of cutting off. I've done several videos kind of on the mistakes that I made when I was first styling my body as a pear-shaped girly, and I will pop some of them on shorts or link them down below. But definitely one of the things that you do, one of the things that I find it's easy to do is you just kind of cut your legs off. You stop the thing or you don't continue the thing, and so everything looks a little bit blocky and it doesn't look as fluid on your body. And if you're really just kind of flowing with your curves, sometimes you put things at the wrong angle and it just kind of chops off the flow of your eye when you're like going down your body. So do love this. Might be a little bit still too cold for it, but it is a good thing to have. And then honestly, anything where I can wear my little Amazon bodysuits. I have the Zara ones. I've had the Zara ones for years, but I actually like the cut of the Amazon ones more. They're just a bit thinner. They're kind of more collared, which makes it a little bit more streamlined and chic. And they also don't tend to pill and like kind of break apart. Hold please while I grab the Zara one. They don't tend to kind of do the like boob pilling the same. So you can see it's a lot, it's like slightly thinner. Actually, it's a lot thinner. It's just more kind of narrow in. It's really that like center alignment. It's not as thick, so depending on how you feel about that and how much extra kind of coverage you want, this is definitely a thicker material. But I like the cut of the Amazon one more, and so far it's held up better than some of these. I feel like the thing that happens every time is I end up with this slight kind of wear and tear on the front of them. But I've had these for years. I feel like I lived in these when I first got them. They're really great options for travel because then you can kind of minimize the bulk, especially when traveling during this time of year. If you feel like you've just got a lot of things in your wardrobe, you got a lot of things in your bag and you need to be able to have a few chic pieces to balance out your like bulky sweaters. Those are really great. But yeah, any excuse to kind of wear this guy, I love it. And I do like that it is thinner. When I give it all away, I will be posting all of these things on shorts very, very soon with all of the outfits for you guys. I have an appointment tomorrow because Bear is going to meet with a surgeon. So this week is a little bit more delayed and filming what I wanted to film. We're kind of getting back into the routine, but just even sitting down and kind of talking about it has helped me a ton, because a lot of the times you just sit there and spiral about it or you think too long about it. And I want to create, but I also like having those moments where like I can screenshot throughout this video and see what else we need to kind of pull this all together. I have a list of shoes and things that I'm thinking about, and I might end up doing a full blog post on like the shoes that you need to have in your wardrobe this fall, like the new ones that you should be adding. Make sure you subscribe because I always share those blog posts within the community feed. But I love you guys. It is a good day to have a good day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I upload new videos every week, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.